Aquarius, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading, general reading. Take what works, leave what doesn't. And if I don't catch a wavelength or storyline on this reading, check your other major placements. Something you don't really want to talk about. Looks like you flipped around. Let's see if there's any. Oh. Anyway, I'm starting with the Oracle deck here I combined Moonology and the Urban Crow, and then we'll move on to the Muse Tarot for a more traditional tarot spread. That's all the Oracle cards I'm going to take here. I took those ones. We fished them out. They had flipped around and we fished them out. A little less than forthcoming here. Oh, wow. Okay, lots of communication and I don't know how this cannot be a relationship reading, at least this part of it, but there's something about relating to other people here. So we have a new romantic cycle begins, new moon in Libra, something very reciprocal, something really, a relationship. Maybe not a whole new relationship, maybe just like a new era of a relationship, a new part of the relationship beginning. But it can also be, it can definitely be friendship. It can be, there is a lot here though of like a duality. This could be your relationship with yourself as well. We don't necessarily have to be talking about an external relationship, but there is sort of some twinning here and some connection here. So new romantic cycle beginning. Teaming up with someone. This can be friendship. This can be work relationships. This can be just teaming up. My door just opened. All right, so this new romantic cycle begins. Some kind of relationship or someone that may become significant in your life in some way, either through work or through friendship or something like that, or even a romantic relationship. We don't have to completely omit that option. And then we have new moon in Pisces. So I'm getting, there's definitely the beginning of an emotional, spiritual connection with somebody coming in here. New moon in Pisces, meditate and contemplate. Again, we have this sort of dual energy, sort of playing with each other, sort of moving around each other, and flowing, vibing, meditate and contemplate. So this is what triggered me to think about, like, maybe this is a heart mind, like, you know, meditating and contemplating and connecting these two things, in a I want to say wholesome, but not in that way, like whole making way, like being the whole person with the emotions and the mind coming together. But it also does talk about soulmates, and kind of a strange little time here of maybe a surreal time outside of time. Yeah, so a new romantic cycle begins, balance scales, maybe even some part of the relationship was not balanced or not among equals, and this is a sense of equals here, meditating and contemplating, engaging with both things, but also there is a really strong sense of a deep spiritual and emotional connection with someone or something, with yourself. And then here's the other twin things. I mean, like, just the dualities here, the two here, two opposite sides of the scale. Maybe the scale tips one way and it tips towards one or towards another. But here they're in balance. Here there's again another balance between two entities. Could be your heart and mind, could be you and somebody else. And then again we have the two entities, one with the eyes closed, one with the eyes open. The answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. So communication, something's going to be communicated this week. There's some sort of magic may happen via words, via communication. There's going to be truth revealed in a conversation. And what has not been seen will now be seen and will be known. So something's going to be revealed. Your eyes will be opened to something. Maybe you've been struggling to see something and now you will have that opportunity. There also may be some sort of indiscretion. Someone may reveal something accidentally or on purpose, but it looks like there's a conversation, and the answers you need are coming. I like that. There's a passivity to that. There's also quite a bit of passivity to meditating and contemplating. So there's something where you're not needing to do much except remain in balance and connection to yourself, connection to your spirit, and connection to someone else. And then what's up? Play. This is one of the best ways. This is how humans learn best. That always weirded me out about the methods used in school, because it's not really how humans learn best. So I don't quite understand what I mean, I kind of do understand why it is that way, but anyway, so humans learn best through play. So this is some playing in a storm, playing, I like it because they're playing in water. So there's a sense to me of, if we're going to combine these, and that is my intention, this water sign here, this playing in emotions, this lightness and brightness. And so if you are connecting with someone, make sure you're bringing in this energy of play. It's the best way to learn about someone. It's the best way to connect with someone, especially something new like this, since we're getting this new moon. So a new playful energy coming in here. And there's like an emotional lightness. Like, I love this card because you can see this light coming in. You're almost expecting to see a rainbow here of some kind. There's just the rainbow or not the rainbow. I mean, I guess there's like triple rainbows and quadruple rainbows and half rainbows and full rainbows. So anyway, it almost looks like you'd kind of expect something playful like a rainbow and bright coming in here with the sun shining back there, and then the playing. I love the idea of playing in the rain too. That always sounds very fun. But in that emotional, there may be a lot of emotions and an emotional deluge. So just making sure that your energy is light, and that you're bringing that sense of exploration and play. The play is also open-ended. We're not having goals here. Like, who knows where this relationship or this connection goes? Who knows whether it's ultimately going to be like a work relationship or a friendship? We're not quite sure. There is something beginning here. There is going to be something revealed that might start the beginning of something. But that playfulness, that is an open-endedness. We don't have a goal. It's not a worksheet, an assignment that needs to be finished and completed to a certain level of expertise. This is play. This is what happens if we do this? What happens? It's an exploration with no known end point, or no intentional. We don't know where we're going, right? We're sitting down and we're saying, I wonder what's going to happen with this. And that's where the play comes in. This is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, to-do list, possible outcome. In your recent past, we have Queen of Voices. We have someone that was very clear on what they thought and what they knew, and they spoke very clearly. They weren't necessarily very concerned with how the words were landing. They were more concerned with how true the words felt to them. This might have been you. This might have been someone else in this situation. There's in this one, there is a bit of severity. I do like how we do have these corvids here, and we also have our corvid card over here. And so there's a lot of black-clad beings. It almost looks like we've got corvids in this one, these two as well, right? Maybe you are the crow. The raven, the corvid. So Queen of Voices. This is, the queens are, male or female, but they're very centered on their experience and their inner universe. So someone has been very focused on their thoughts, and possibly their communication. So the Queen of Voices might just be very clear on what she thinks on, or he, or what this person thinks, and sorting their thoughts, and not necessarily sharing them, but maybe preparing to share them, and trying to understand them and get some clarity on them. This could also be someone who has already shared their thoughts, and maybe the Queen of Voices, or the Queen of Swords, can come off as a little bit brusque and a little bit sharpish, right? Because it's swords. But she's just very much communicating her own truth and wants to get that out there. So this could be someone who's just been deep in thought, possibly you, trying to figure out what they think about a situation. But there's an intellectual component here. If we're talking meditate and contemplate, the Queen of Voices is definitely in the contemplation mode. There might have been some over-contemplation going on. We have 7 of emotions here, which is really interesting because we would think that there could be some emotional overwhelm here and confusion, but this comes from overthinking things and contemplating something. If you were to just like shoot from the hip and make an intuitive quick choice, your choice would be obvious and clear. It's bright and filled with light, but you're wanting to debate, you're wanting to weigh your options, trying to understand something. So the Queen of Voices here and the 7 of Emotions looks to me like a lot of thinking about something that, and then with the 7 of Emotions, we're at sort of a point of making an emotional choice, but we may have, we're really, really thinking through it. We're really debating the merits of each option possibly. And there's also a sense of this could just be way too much emotion. The 7 is going to be on the more, the softer side of the Kabbalah tree of life. And so it's going to be more like a lot of that's already the side that is the emotions. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but this is already the soft side. And then we're adding like an abundance of emotion to an emotional thing already. So this can be emotional overwhelm, trying to make a choice, a decision. There's maybe an emotional winner, but we're also trying to be smart. This borders on overthinking something that could be a natural, intuitive choice. So you might be overthinking something, even though you already know the answer to it. You might want to be thorough. This is not a waste of time necessarily, because it's always good to be able to look back and understand the decision that you made and realize that this is definitely not an impulsive decision. If you were to make an impulsive decision, it's already right there. Exactly. You know what you would do. But you want to think it through. And part of thinking it through and exploring all your options is being able to justify your decision later and just be like, yeah, well, that's the decision. This is why I made that decision. Even though it's definitely something I wanted, there were also reasons behind it. And this is why this one wasn't. So there could be some overthinking, which I feel like I'm doing right now as I'm explaining this card, which is ironic. Not ironic. It's just it's like an echo chamber. I'm overthinking the overthinking card. So here we go in your hopes and fears, Knight of Materials. This could also be overthinking something. Your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape, what's going on within you. Knights of Materials is about planning. It's about developing a pattern, understanding patterns, understanding how things unfold, moving towards that. This shows a little horsey at a trot here, or even a gallop. But the Knight of Materials typically moves a little slowly, but there is like a sense of trying to understand a pattern, trying to understand growth. And this succulent here is a very slow growing plant. So we are talking about slow growth, but wanting to move towards that growth, hoping to move towards it. But there is a pattern here, and there is a sense of wanting to understand the pattern, wanting to understand something, and wanting to plan it out, and wanting to see where it's all going and see how it all unfolds. There's like a tension between wanting to make that movement and wanting also to understand how it's all going to unfold. So that's your hope, I think, is for a clear vision, to understand the ramifications of every action. I mean, it's coming across here as this similar energy to the 7 of emotions, of wanting to understand every ramification, every way that this can unfold and grow, and what the patterns are. And so it's kind of interesting, I think, with this whole top row. We have Queen of Voices, someone who's very much in their own thoughts, trying to understand their own truth and their own perspective. Someone who's really thinking about a choice, a decision, and or experiencing some emotional overwhelm because there are too many options, or because the thinking has gone on for quite a long time and is now strongly affecting the emotions, which is where we're getting meditate and contemplate, the emotional part, the spiritual part, and the thinking. And then we have Knight of Materials, also wanting to move forward in the real world with something, but wanting to understand the patterns and the ramifications for it all. So there's a lot of trying to understand things, and we get that from 3 different suits up here, which I find really interesting, because they're the Queen, the Knight, and the suits. The Knight could also be someone that you're thinking about, who is a planner, who does like to think before they act. It could be, because a court card could also be a person. So then we have 9 of Materials, reverse 9 of Materials. We haven't succeeded in something that maybe we've put a lot of effort into. We don't feel a sense of ownership over this process, over this growth. We don't feel like entitled to it. We don't feel like it's truly ours. These decisions, these choices, this growth, this work, we're not feeling like it's truly ours to do. And we're not, in the upright, the 9 of Materials is going to be, our sole proprietor of a business that's she's strongly invested in. But here we have, we either haven't invested in something, or we just don't feel, it feels to me like we just don't feel like we own this. Like this is truly ours, that it might belong to somebody else, or maybe we've been working for somebody else, not for ourselves. Or there could be a lack of self-advocacy going on here. There's also a sense of maybe having not, if you have put in the work, it's not been for yourself, but it's been possibly for somebody else, and you don't feel a sense of ownership over the results of that work, and you maybe feel like someone else should be in charge of it. If you haven't put in work specifically towards a goal, you could be that was a decision and a choice that you made. So, it does feel like you've been working for somebody else, and not really for yourself here. In your environment, we have another Knight. So we have another person, possibly Knight of Voices. This is coming in right under the Queen of Voices. So we have someone that's really thinking about their own situation and what they think. And then the Knight of Voices, this is movement, this is communication coming in here. This is external to you. So this could be someone trying to communicate with you, wanting to communicate with you. Speaking of communication. So this could be someone wanting to communicate with you, or coming in to communicate with you with a communication, which I find interesting because we also have the answers you need are coming. There's clarity coming. There's communication coming in here. There is something is being said, is being communicated, or being traveled towards, moved towards. It can be, Knights can be any kind of movement and any kind of communication. So we could have wanting to communicate about a plan. Maybe you want to hear about the plan. Here's the plan being spoken of. Maybe you want someone else to talk to you about a plan. Maybe you want to talk about the plan and the pattern and what you're seeing. And here's somebody else, not you, coming in to communicate that and clear things up and bringing some clarity, some blessed clarity, which we rarely seem to. I wouldn't say rarely, but it is pretty nice when it comes in. It's something to be celebrated, that clarity. Even if it's something you don't want to hear, at least you know now, right? So, and we can stop guessing and living in some sort of dream or imagining what's going on. So Knight of Voices here, clear communication. Someone will be clearly communicating to you. And then your to-do list, it looks like after this communication, your to-do list is to finally take this leap of faith. This contemplation has gone on for a very long time. This thinking, figuring it out, trying to understand. Something's been going on for a really long time. This also indicates a really long time. And this is you taking a leap of faith here. Six of Voices, you leaving a painful place. It hasn't been really great where you've been at. And this isn't necessarily the Fool card. This is like a, you know what, I don't even know where I'm going, but I trust that the universe will catch me, but I don't. This is really wanting to move forward into a future, into an unknown future. It usually, Six of Voices usually talks to me. It's the Six of Swords. And it usually talks about leaving something, leaving a difficult place behind. You usually end up with some help here. Someone's going to help push you, or help, I wouldn't say push you, but there's going to be some assistance here in moving away from something that's been unsatisfying and moving towards something that is much more satisfying and much more exciting. And better for you, a better fit for you. So there is a sense of leaving without much of a plan of where you're going. It's just separating from a place that's no longer working for you and not quite sure you can make it to the other place. There will be help and assistance showing up here, but as you contemplate it, sort of the raw idea of getting from here to there, or getting from here to someplace safe, someplace else, someplace that feels better, and it may seem impossible to do, but there will be assistance coming in here to help you get to a better situation for you. And then where you're going, where you're headed, I like it. Six of Inspiration. We have another six here. These are the sixes are sort of sit exactly in the center of our tree of life here, our Kabbalah tree of life. And we have the Six of Voices sitting at the center. This is a sort of a wounded warrior continuing to move forward, not seeing where this is all going, but making the commitment to go, making the commitment to move on with your life or move forward, and not necessarily having the clearest idea despite all of this thinking and all of this attempt to see a pattern, but moving forward, moving on, and getting some assistance with that. So, and then we have, you've been through a lot, and this is you being celebrated, being publicly celebrated. There's a public element to this, and being Six of Inspiration is sort of our parade energy. Your success is your community's success. You may be representing your community in a situation. You may be being praised for something. There's something very public here about it. You are the star attraction, but everybody benefits from that. It's not a selfish, I am the star situation. It is and you have to be, you're going to be able to receive that appreciation and receive the joy of your community, and the people will be happy for you, and they will benefit from your success. Others will benefit from your success. And so being open to receiving that. Something isn't, you are moving forward here. You're taking a leap of faith into a future. There's going to be some help there. And the future you're going to is going to be successful in a public way. People will see your success and will appreciate your success and will be benefiting from your success. So, all right, Aquarius, I hope that was helpful for you. And I hope you have a great fortnight till I see you again. And thanks for your likes, comments, and subscribes.